Okay. By now you should have all your sounds that you want in your language. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please go back to the watch the last video, get your sounds together, come back here. I'll wait a little while while you pause the video. Okay, that's fine. And now I'm going to be showing you word order. Now this is very important in languages because, well, it's just very important. It tells you the order of the words. In English, the word order is S, V, O. S meaning subject, V meaning verb, and O meaning object. You know which word is the subject in English because it's at the beginning of the word. So, John is stupid. No, that doesn't work actually. John is a tree. So we know John is the subject, John is the thing doing the action, the verb being in the middle, of always, it's just, we know that that's the verb because it's in the middle, and we know that the tree is the object because it will come to the end. And this is the indefinite article, meaning it doesn't have to be one specific tree, it can just be any tree. So from this we know that John is being a tree. So, now what if I did this? John, a tree is. John is the subject, put there. Tree is the object, and is the verb. Now it's in S-O-V. Now this doesn't make any sense because English is very strict with its word order. But, well, other languages are very strict as well, but they have a different word order. John, a tree is. It just doesn't make any sense. See, so this is a thing in your language. Whatever makes more sense in your language, SVO is fine if you want to be boring, but it's the second most common word order around. I think Chinese, English, Spanish, a lot of the most of the Romance languages, most Bantu languages, Russian, I think, okay, a lot of languages have SVO word order, but the most common one is SOV, which I just showed you. That's like Sanskrit, Japanese, Hindi, Latin. There's so many I can't think of them, but because there's so many. Alright, there are a lot of there's a lot of languages that have SOV and SVO word orders, but there are more. There's VSO. Let's just go VOS, SVO, SOV, OSV, and OVS. So from what I showed you, let's just pick OVS. You would say a tree is John. Oh, sorry, I spelled John. A tree is John. Now, strangely, this still makes sense in English. I'm not sure why. That's just a tree is John. A John is a tree because it's just backwards. See, a lot of languages have a little bit more than, well, they have usually more than one word orders, and this is very strict to it. These languages that have more than one, or can use more than one, are usually languages with noun cases. Noun cases are endings in a word, which I cannot think of any language. I don't know any languages that have noun cases. I mean, I do know the names of them, Latin, Russian, Sanskrit, there's tons of them. I just don't know the actual cases. So let's just make one up. I'm just going to be showing you the... No, hold on. The nominative case and the accusative case. There are way more cases than this, but I'm just going to be showing you these two because they're the most simple. Nominative just means the subject. You nominate something to do the action. Accusative is the object. You accuse it. So the nominative thing accuses the thing of doing something. It's just, that's how it works. So let's say we have, I'm just going to use English words, it's just easier. So let's say John let's just say is nominative. John is I should have changed that actually. Tree in. Is the nominative suffix. So we know that this is the subject. Is the verb, obviously, but we're not focusing on verbs today. And in is the accusative suffix, so we know that means that that's the object. So here we have, in English word order, John is a tree. But now, let's just change this around. Because now we know which one's the subject and which one's the object. In English, the subject has to be at the front, object has to be at the end. But now in this language we're making, say, well, most languages, Latin, for example, it doesn't have to be, but Latin usually tends to stick to SOV because it just sounds the most natural to them. Well, sounded, I suppose. So let's try maybe OSV. That looks interesting. We know that, so it starts with an object, so tree in. That's the accusative. It's a tree in the accusative form. John. So John. Well, it looks like June. So now we know this is nominative. That's the subject, and is the verb. Object, subject, verb. So languages with noun cases don't have a very strict word order, but languages with noun cases don't have a very strict word order. Languages without them, like English, have a very strict one. The only exception that I can think of in English is when you're asking a question. Is John... what am I doing there? Is John a tree? is the verb coming at the front for first time ever. The only time in English I can think of. John is the subject and tree is the verb. So instead of coming in the middle, the verb comes in front, and that's how we know we're asking a question. But this only works with the word to be, or the only one I can think of. If there are other exceptions in English with word order, please tell me, because I can't think of any right now. A lot of languages change the word order just to add emphasis on a certain thing. So, is John a tree? That can mean John really is a tree. He really is one. I'm not joking. So, is John a tree? You could say, you could put object first. You can say object, subject, verb, and say, a tree John is. So that's really putting emphasis on that John is a tree. A tree John is. See? Or you could put subject, object, verb. By the way, subject, object, verb is actually my favorite word order because it's like a mystery. So let's say John. Ooh, John. What's John? What's going on? A tree. Oh, whoa, John, a tree. What? What is the verb going to be? This is so. The tense is killing me. Suspense is killing me. And then is. Ooh, John, a tree is. I just love it. So you could say, put emphasis on John, a tree is. John is the one who is a tree, not anyone else but John. So if you put noun cases, it's very fun to swap around with change word order. I just love noun cases. It's lots of fun changing word order because they can mean different things depending on the word order, and it still makes sense. In the next episode, I'm going to be talking about noun classes, which are very, very, very different to noun cases. They're found in the Bantu languages like Zulu and Swahili or Chichewa. But I'll be getting bump the camera a bit. I'll be getting to that in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you really like this video, don't forget to subscribe. Comment on if you have a question, just please put it in the comments. I will try as hard as I can to answer it because I'm a good person. If you have any suggestions to help make this better, please put it in. And if you really enjoy my work, please support me on Patreon. I will be very grateful. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.